All right, welcome to Let's Build a Cult, the show that asks you what would you do if you were suddenly elected the leader of a cult. I'm your host and cultsultant, Phoenix Trinidad, and today I'm joined by comedian Sam Gebreselassie. Hello, Sam.
Hi, Phoenix. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good to
Thanks,
see
mate.
you. Yeah.
Great
All
to be on the pod.
Yeah.
I
You
don't know-
sound real enthusiastic
I'm,
about it.
I'm scared. That's why. This might be. No one's gonna find me. I'm in a weird place right now in Melbourne.
It's going to be fun.
Never been this side of town.
I'll run you through how this works. So basically, the show is partly a thought experiment. It's a part role-playing game, and it's also a weird job interview type thing. So
Alright.
Your goal is to build the most successful cult that you can imagine.
Right.
And whatever that means to you, that's what we're going with. So if you want your cult to be a force for good, that's fine. If you just enjoy the power of it and you just want to build a society how you think society should be built,
Right.
that's totally fine as well.
Okay.
And I'm your cultsultant, so you can just ask me any questions. I'll guide you through. I'll set the rules and the parameters.
Right.
There's 3 stages. So there's the preparation stage where we're going to vet your leadership skills and your history and stuff. And then the second is the build phase. That's where we sort out the logistics and figure out, shelter, money, all those kinds of things. Okay. And then the last stage is the test stage where I'm going to throw some scenarios at you. And then that's where we really figure out what type of leader that you would be. And at the end, I will assess your cult and give you a cult rating based on whether or not I would want to join as a member.
Wow, this has become serious
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I'm quite competitive. You should have realised that.
Well, so far I'm recording. Actually, I won't tell you how many I've done or who.
He's the best cult leader.
Yeah. That'll come in the end of the season. So, Sam Gebreselassie, are you ready to build a cult?
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
I've been waiting my whole life for this. Finally, someone asked me this question that I've been... When will it happen? I've been asking myself. I woke up this morning, I was like, today's the day. And
Well, you are in luck. Right, we're now in the preparation stage.
Perfect.
So, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions just to vet your leadership skills. But firstly, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word cult or cults in general?
I think it's mostly negative.
Okay.
Mostly negative because I studied it in religious education in high school. So probably not. Probably not the best information. But
is a cult what's the first cult that you think of? Like a religion type thing, or
it's
more
the one, the Joneses, something Jones.
The Jonestown Massacre.
Was it Jim Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was he the one that murdered? Was he the Kool-Aid guy?
Yeah, the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
In the middle of somewhere in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Okay.
Which is like a positive, I'm like, that guy knew what he wanted.
Right. So that's your baseline?
That's my baseline.
Okay.
There was probably a few. Yeah, that's the best one I can remember, like specifically.
Yeah,
we learned
the best.
Yeah, they're the best one in that context.
Yeah. So do you think that you could make a good cult? Do you think a good cult could exist?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's why they call it. Oh no, cult is short for culture. You know that.
I did not know that.
No, I didn't know that at all. That's straight up. My cult will have a culture.
Okay. So, what is the cultiest thing that you've been a part of, in your life so far?
Right. A cult. I think stand-up. Is a cult.
Yeah.
The stand-up community is
Yeah.
a cult. Because I think eventually we'll all drink the Kool-Aid. It's going that way, man.
Yeah. I mean, the conversation that we're having off mic just before this,
Yeah.
it's very,
Yeah.
2 cult members that have been in the cult for too long and are starting to question the leadership.
Pretty much. We're like, I think we should. I think it's time. let's get everyone together. Comedians love a free drink as well.
Yeah.
Let's set up
That's a great point.
Let's set up a gig and be like, how are we getting paid? Oh, free Kool-Aid. And they're like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah. I'll drink it.
But we all have to drink it at the same time.
No questions. So who's the cultiest person you've met? Have you ever met anyone that feels like a cult leader?
I'm just trying to think. I think maybe my boss. Maybe
Yeah, right.
My previous boss, not current boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I think he just like, he's like, you have to be at this place by this time, and you're not allowed to leave at this time.
right.
And then it's like, and yeah.
It's
and
like
then
hard rules, setting
yeah,
hard rules.
and you have to do these things.
Yeah.
And like when you're at this place at these hours, you have to do these things
Right.
as
Okay.
set out. And you can't
So
just
that
be,
controlling nature.
yeah,
of-
you can't just be coming in and out.
Yeah.
Like, as you please. Like,
Okay. I think that's probably most people's
Bosses.
reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, not most
So-
people's bosses, but like most people's reference of like, oh, okay. So I definitely had I've had a couple of bosses that I was like, if you started a cult, like you would get followers and you'd be able to run it pretty well.
But
but it'd be terrifying.
But that makes sense, doesn't it? That's what a boss is.
Yeah.
It's basically like a cult leader.
Yeah.
Without the finality of it all.
Yeah.
Like
Cults don't have to
Yeah.
end in like
oh,
everybody
they
dying.
don't. Well,
Just so you know.
I'm in the wrong podcast.
Okay. Well, my next question.
That was my end game.
Well, my next question was like, what's the highest position of leadership that you've been in?
I think leadership, like being a manager, not
Yeah.
manager, but being like looking after new grads at my job,
Right.
and like giving them advice and telling them how to do things.
Yeah.
I think that.
Did you want to say what you do in your job? Or
I work as a physio. I don't
okay.
really care.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Some people might be.
Yeah.
freaking about
I actually cut that out.
So you bring new grads in and then you help them. So that's like,
Yeah.
So you're managing them.
Managing them, and just they come to me if they have any questions, and we have like a weekly session where we just discuss clients and cases, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you like being in that sort of like leadership,
Um,
mentory type role?
Nah, because I think I just become like one of their friends. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not very like authoritarian. I think I'm more like at the end of a week or 2 weeks, where like I just talk to them like one of my friends.
Yeah.
Like we just
Yeah.
I don't look down on them. I don't just the same level.
But did they see you as a boss? Like,
Yeah, because I had to grade them at the end.
yeah. So was that?
I could fail them. I could fail. This was their placement. It was
Right.
new grads and also physios in their last year of
Yeah.
uni doing a placement. So like at the end of it, I had to mark them how well they did,
Yeah.
and they could. If I failed them, then they can't pass the course.
So when you speak to them as a friend, did you feel that there was a kind of like a sense of power in that, in their responses? Like, do they really see me as a friend, or is this like, are they just trying to like cozy up to me and be nice because they have to?
I think with the new grads, yes, that was the case.
Yeah.
But not so much with with the final year physios, yeah, but not with the new grads. I think the new grads are more like, I've already passed. I don't need like seek your approval.
Okay, right.
But I did sit in like the job interview, and that was a bit of like, while they were being interviewed, my manager was like, "Can you sit in, do the clinical questions?" And then I would sit there, and then like I'll ask them these questions, and you could just tell like they were like, like trying to really like like say like I know what I'm talking about. Come on, man, hire me. Like, and I'd be like, yeah, good, okay.
Okay, yeah.
And then
Because
I'd
like
be
you've been on the other side of that too. Like,
yeah,
everyone has.
I've been on both sides where
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, the interview side, the placement side, the new grad side, and it's fine. So I wasn't like, I knew what it felt like, so I was real easy on them. If I felt like they didn't know the answer 100%, I would kind of like go, yeah, that was close, like, and you mean like this, how like, and they'll go, yeah, that's what I meant, and I go, yeah, good.
Yeah.
So I know how. It's not that they don't know; it's more like the nerves.
Yeah, right.
'Cause I've been in that
So you're trying to
situation.
help them.
Remember.
You're trying to help them get through that nervous
Yeah.
part of the interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I've been a manager as well, and like that, but it was not very, but like a bit more corporate structured. So there was also always that like responsibility feeling of, but you do lean into the manager power side of it. So
Right,
like, I interviewed
right.
a lot of people and stuff, and then like after you've done like 50 interviews, you kind of just like okay, yeah, you'll lean into that fucking that boss type energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done as many as you, so I wouldn't know. But like at that level, I've only done like 5 probably.
So what type of leader do you think you are in general?
I think I'll be like quite compassionate,
Yeah.
quite understanding.
You're a pretty empathetic guy. I feel
Thank
like
you.
you'd be a very nice leader.
It's a downfall sometimes. It's a downfall. That's the problem.
Did you ever abuse your power in any way, in even the smallest way possible? Or do you think you're susceptible to that at all?
Nah, not really. Not at all. Yeah, nothing.
Just an upstanding guy, aren't you?
I hate to say it, but I told you, you found your leader. You don't need to interview any more comedians or anyone else. You found him. He's sitting right next to you right now.
Well, that's just like, but it sounds like you want the power, so maybe.
I think I want the power because I feel like some people, like, especially society, I feel like, oh my God, why are you so stupid?
Yeah.
Why are you so crazy? Why are you doing this? And like everything could be so simple. But then I'm aware enough to go, no, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It's like people are the way they are because of sometimes generations of issues, generational issues, trauma and stuff like that. So you go, oh, it's gonna be so easy, and then you're like, oh yeah, but this takes. Well, I don't think I can be alive to see the cult become what I want it to become.
Okay.
Actually, I should say, I don't think any of us would survive to see that cult.
I love. Okay, so you're starting with an end game. All right, so that's the preparation phase. I feel like you've got this weird mix so far. So I'm doing a little bit of analysis of what I'm predicting the type of leader that you're going to be. You are a very empathetic and compassionate guy, but for some reason we have this end game with everybody dying. So this could go either way. So I'm mostly curious. Congratulations, though. You are the next leader of this cult. And that is... So that's the end of the preparation phase.
Okay,
right.
Good.
So now we move into the build phase. This is where we really sort out the logistics and stuff.
Always the hardest part.
Yeah. So this build phase starts with a dice roll with that D20 die, and this is going to determine how many people we're going to give you. So how many people in the cult that you start with. So give that a roll.
Come on, 20.
We're also going to multiply it by a factor of 50. So if you roll a 1, you get 50 people. If you roll a 20... Okay, so you've rolled a 3. So that's 150 people.
Okay.
That's a decent amount still.
That's a good... Yeah.
Like you've done gigs to 150 people, right?
Yeah.
And you've been able to control them or...
Yeah. No one will drink the Kool-Aid, but yeah.
What's the biggest... gig that you've done? Like how many people in the crowd? 600. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. And how did that go?
Yeah, it went pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they liked me.
All right, good. So this is...
At least half of them liked me, I'm sure.
Yeah, so 150 is so easy, basically. Right. Okay, so we've given you your congratulations, cult leader Sam. Do you want a name? Or like a name for the cult? Or do you want to start at that? Or do you just want to say Cult of Sam?
I like the name Scientology. I mean, I think that one's taken. Sorry. Jehovah's. Oh, that one's taken as well. My God, I keep coming up with things that are already taken. All the good ones are taken. I don't.
Yeah.
I'll just name it later.
Okay, we'll name it later. Yeah. First things first. Shelter. So, would you want a commune situation, or would you like let these 150 people live still within society, and then you just control them like a religion would, like a Scientology, so they're among society, but they're also beholden to this, greater cause? Or do you want to just take them off site?
It's hard because
start a little farm somewhere.
If you let them into society, they might get ideas. Right. You don't want them.
And that so you have to work harder to keep them. If they're within society.
But if they've joined, that pretty much means they're pretty into what I'm trying to do. Yeah. You will have to recruit more. Yeah. You're only just starting with a baseline of 150. Okay. So let's think. Yeah, that's How do we make money though? That's the problem. If
Well,
we go to a commune.
this will come into play. So
Yeah.
making money is something that you will need to do. Like
Yeah.
you got to feed these people.
Yeah.
And then it's harder to do that offsite. But if you're within society, your cult members will have jobs, so they can donate to the cult, or as most cults do, they'll try and take the majority of the money that they earn.
Well, Kool-Aid's not cheap. But
It isn't. I mean, it kind of feels like
inflation,
Yeah, groceries are
It's getting all of us.
Yeah.
Even the cult leaders. Okay, let's just say we live in society, in normal society.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right.
We live in normal society.
Yeah.
We would meet up on the weekends.
Okay, right.
Both Saturday and Sunday.
So weekends are for the Cult of Sam.
Yeah.
What is this sort of ritual meetup situation like?
I think it's to discuss how everyone's feeling,
Okay.
how everyone's week was.
Yeah.
If anyone has any issues, they can bring it up.
Okay. It's like a little therapy session for 150
Yeah,
people.
therapy session on the Saturday, which, if anyone needs any help with their life or their family. If
Are
they're
you
struggling.
gathering around like in a building of some sort? Like, do you want a church?
I think they call it a synagogue. But
Are you just
something
try like build your own branch of like an already existing religion? Like that's also possible.
No. Be
Right.
original. Come
Ground
on.
up. Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on. Yeah. I'll have a big building. We'll probably try to build one ourselves, or we'll like gather money per. Like everyone gives the same amount. No, everyone gives what they can relative to their income.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I probably should have said this at the start. So your 150 people is like a accurate reflection of the wider Australian population, right? So the building of the cult starts tomorrow.
So they're drop kicks, is what you're trying to say.
All right, I forgot you're from New Zealand. So you have you have a range of incomes and stuff, and there are some children and stuff involved in couples and whatever.
Right.
So everybody gives how much of a percentage relative to their income?
I would say about 20%.
20% of their income goes on the deposit to this building? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And like everyone is aware of how much everyone's giving.
Right. Okay. So it's kind of equal in that way.
Yeah. There's a big board of like showing.
So your 1% gives. I mean, I'm trying to do the math on the fly here. I can't do it.
No, don't
but
do quick math. Don't worry.
That's enough. I reckon that's pretty smart to get your building.
Yeah, and we'll have like accountants.
Are you calling it a church?
Huh?
Are you calling it a church or a
a meeting place?
A meeting place. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll have accountants that will figure out the percentages based on people's incomes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're delegating. All right. So you got one
and
accountant.
all tax returns are done through the accountants in the cult.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you know exactly. People can't lie.
Okay. So as being a part of the Cult of Sam, you have to get your taxes done by the accountant of Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I feel like, does that exist already? No, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would. It would. Most churches will have their own accountants and stuff.
So,
but it wouldn't. No. Not in that context.
Right.
They only do. I'm assuming most accountants that work for churches and cults will do the accounting for that church or cult,
right? And
not for the people that come to that church or
cult.
So like everyone that comes there will do their tax return by our accountant.
Right.
And then those accountants don't have to give the 20% because they're working full time for the cult.
Is that a full-time gig? Like just
it's a full-time gig.
150 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of work.
I guess so, yeah.
You also have to manage the finances. So the accountant / finance managers.
Okay, so
they'll be like...
He doesn't... So how do you pay him? Like, is that coming out of the...
So that comes out of that fund.
Okay. Right.
20%.
Yeah. So is this a one-off payment, like 20% of your income, or is this like an ongoing thing?
A yearly 20%. Based on your income. So you can pay it. It's like It's like
a subscription thing.
It's like what's the? Yeah, you can pay it in fortnightly or
Installments.
month.
Yeah. Oh,
Installments. Afterpay. Yeah. You can pay it like that. Yeah. You can pay it. So 12 months in a year, you pay it monthly. Spread that 20%. Based on your last income, based on previous year's tax return.
Yeah.
You pay that amount.
Okay.
We're like the ATO pretty much.
I was going to say, like, this is the most logistical thing. Okay. All right. So you've got your
think
building.
about everything. This has to work, man.
You got your meeting place. You've got your accountants. All that set up.
Yeah.
So what's happening at this meeting place on Saturdays and Sundays? What time do they get there?
So let's say everyone gets there at 10 a.m.
Yep.
And then we have like 2 hours of just people can bring in like written problems.
Okay.
And then we go through them for the 2 hours.
So hang on. So maybe what's the setup of this place?
Everyone's like facing that. It's like a church setup.
Yeah,
rows.
Yeah.
Everyone's sitting.
Pews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's facing that way, and we'll probably get like 10 of the oldest people as like advisors.
Right.
Yeah. So they'll be the advisors.
And there's a stage at the front with like an altar,
front.
or just you on a chair. Or
all of us like a conference almost. Every like 10 people on one chair. Everyone has a mic like this.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So like a town hall,
like a Senate committee, like.
Oh yeah, like a council meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10 people on the stage.
Yeah.
You're in the middle, sort of like a wedding party thing.
Yeah, I don't have to be in the middle. I can just be on the side, just reading out the questions.
On a
like the same level. I don't want to be above or below.
Okay. Right.
I'm one of the people.
Yeah, but everybody knows that you're the leader.
Oh yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah. Like who's really calling the shots.
I told them.
Yeah. So are you emceeing this gig?
By the way, I'm the leader. Yeah, I'm the MC.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes.
So you're running the show.
I'm running the show.
So you have 10 people including you? Or?
No, 10 people not including me.
Right. So do you get... So say somebody brings up a problem or something to do with the cult. Is that me? Like, because you have an odd number of people, you take it to a vote of those people?
Nah, like it's not about... So the first 2 hours are more just like help people if there's any issues with people's lives and stuff like that. It's like a therapy session, like a group therapy.
Okay.
Group therapy with 150 people.
But like, so they're coming to potentially with personal problems.
Yeah, personal problem.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So what's an example? Let's say
like I'm struggling to pay my mortgage, or I'm struggling to pay my rent.
That 20% that came out really.
Yeah, and then we can have a look at how we can help by reducing that 20%.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we can take funds out of that whole fund and like help that person.
But do you think that would... I mean, I reckon that would be pretty intimidating, like going up in front of... Or are you fostering that openness?
If you feel like, we're one. Everyone knows everything about everyone.
Yeah.
We're all like open books.
Right.
Every single part of our life is...
So is that kind of like a philosophy that your cult is built around? Is like, you must be open, you must be honest?
Well, it's like no judgment. Everyone is accepted
for
who they are and what they're going through.
Interesting. So let's say somebody comes to the cult and they have a problem with the cult itself. They're like, hey, I'm struggling to pay my mortgage. I'm someone that's come forward, right?
Yeah, you look like.
So do they? So
you look like a person that would come forward. I know your people.
So do I stand up? So okay. So
like I say, there'll be like a limit on Filipino streaming. Less than 5% of my goal.
Have you ever been to Catholic mass?
Yeah.
The Filipinos are the most we're the most loyal, dude. We're the ones you want in there.
That's true. That's not what my patients tell me.
Yeah.
But that's
we're definitely in the choir and stuff.
That's true.
We're volunteers. So do I stand up, or do they pick a name out of a hat? How do they sort who gets to speak at the meetings?
In terms of the 10 people up at the top?
Oh, just like, so somebody has problems
so
and stuff.
It can be all written down. So as you come in, you write it down on a piece of paper and then you just put it in.
And then you put it in a hat?
You don't have to know who said it. But like,
Ooh, so
when
it's anonymous.
it can be if you want.
Right.
But I can read it and you can be like, I put that down.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you pulled a bit of paper out of the hat, and it's like, hey, I'm struggling to pay my mortgage, and the 20% that I had to give to this to the cult of Sam really affected that. And then what's the process from there?
So the process from there is we shoot the person. No, so we go, okay, let's discuss how we can. So those sorts of issues, that's probably a one-on-one kind of situation.
Okay.
So that one,
you wouldn't bring that to.
Yeah. Or it's more like life. I shouldn't have given you that example. It's more like I'm feeling sad, or I'm having issues with my mental health, or me and my wife are fighting, or my kids are not listening. That's sort of like personal. The first 2 hours are that. And those specific things are like more with the accountants and me.
Yeah.
So that I'm having trouble and that's less likely to happen because the 20% is based on your income.
Okay.
So it's like if you earn if you don't earn that much, we're not 20% of that much is based on like expenses and everything as well, mortgage included.
Right.
So your accountant will do a calculation of how much you've earned.
Yeah.
After all that is paid.
Right. That is a full-time job.
That's a full-time job.
I understand it now. Yeah.
It's 20% of like the profits.
Yeah. So they're doing budgeting and shit.
Yeah,
too.
they're doing the budgeting.
Okay.
So it's like if you're struggling to not meet your loan after all this calculation, then what are you doing outside of here?
Okay.
How's your spending? What can we do to help in terms of like helping you budget and stuff like that?
Right.
Or give you if you need help.
Yeah. So this is what you're offering to your members, right?
Yeah.
Because you, as a cult, this is just the 2 hours on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm already like, okay, this seems like I kind of want to do this. I think you should be doing this. So what happens after that 2 hours?
We all have lunch.
Okay. Yeah.
Together in a big hall, like we all like have buffet.
Yeah. So are the cult members cooking or like a big feast?
Yeah,
Game of Thrones style.
No, we'll have to figure out how we can make it free.
Yeah.
And like how we can make large scale food.
Right.
For the so we might actually have people that are good at cooking as part-time workers to do that.
Okay.
Like on their free time.
Yeah.
For the weekend only.
Right.
So Saturday and Sunday is the only time we have lunch and dinner together.
Yeah.
So there will be people dedicated to doing that as well.
Okay.
That's their job.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so lunch is like 12 till 2, let's say.
Yeah.
Everything's still in this hall.
Yeah.
And then what's after lunch?
After lunch, we kind of will do like fun team building exercises.
Yeah. It sounds like a corporate retreat. Like
we need productivity up, man.
Yeah.
Productivity's down.
Yeah.
We need to.
I mean, you got to have something to do on weekends, right? So what type of activities?
So all the kids can have like a sports game, like a soccer game or something.
Okay.
The adults can just hang around and talk and just get a coffee and just like be together. We'll get some of the adult, and then after they play like whatever sports they want to play outside or inside, we'll get them to like come and have snacks, and then we'll get the kids sitting down and having like almost like a Bible study kind of thing, but like just life study.
Yeah,
like
right.
The adults sit down, and like we get a few elders. We get elders, and the kids sit down in this sort of space. Mm-hmm. But there'll be like 3-4 different spaces with different adults, and then they'll just talk about like ask the kids like, what questions do you have for me, like about life and about what you want to do and like how you see yourself and all this stuff, and just have an open discussion about that for the next hour, 2 hours.
Right.
And then we have dinner. Yeah. Everyone gets dinner again, and then the kids go back to this sort of setting, and someone reads them a book, and then the adults can just hang around, chat, and have fun. And then you go home.
So you just hang out the whole weekend.
Yeah,
so but that's only Saturday.
That's Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So then what's Sunday?
Sunday is everyone comes at 10 again.
Yeah.
And then this time we'll have like almost like a TED talk.
Okay.
Like a TED talk kind of thing. We'll have a few speakers.
Yeah.
And it'll be topics about like history, it'll be topics about like psychology and
Okay.
like maybe like a 2 hour lecture because 3 hours is too long on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we have lunch, and then we have another like kids play again,
Yeah.
and then adults hang around for the next hour or two, and then we come back and we do one more lecture.
Right.
Then everyone can have dinner.
Yeah.
And then you can go home after that.
So who is an example of somebody that you would want to come in as a guest speaker? Like you have...
Who I wouldn't want.
No, you would.
I think like like Alan D. Button.
Who?
The School of Life, the guy that threw it.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but so it's like philosophical TED talky type people.
Yeah. About like how you can improve your life.
Okay.
Like skills and like skills to enrich your life.
Right.
Like about relationships, about raising kids.
Yeah.
About like work, education, like your work life, like health is important. Diet, like all that sort of stuff. People that know a lot about that sort of stuff will come and have it's like a sermon, but like
so it's a very holistic, communal type of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of life lessons being learned. It's very churchy because like I grew up in Catholic, in a Catholic
same
religion. Yeah. So and like it was church on Sunday, and then you go to lunch after. Sometimes the church would put on some sort of lunch, or there'd be some sort of thing.
It'll be a snack.
Yeah.
It's not
well, there's
on.
a snack in church.
It's not full on lunch.
Yeah.
That's the one thing the one thing I said about Catholic churches. I'm like, where's the lunch? Come on. Cookies? Really? I just sit through an hour.
So what's your, if you had to sum it up, what's the guiding philosophy around what's it built on? Like,
I think just like learning to be present, learning to enjoy people's company, learning to like accept everything that you have, and like making the most of like whatever is happening.
Right.
Like just like be present in everything.
Is that something that you carry in your life? Like, do you meditate and do you practice mindfulness and?
I don't, but I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I practice some of it in my life, but like, but I want to meditate and stuff like that. I journal.
Yeah.
I journal. Yeah, I do. Journaling, and sometimes I'll just like switch off everything, like and just stay still.
Yeah, I do that.
Just be present. Just like think. Let your brain think.
Yeah. So is that a personal thing, or is that like also when you're trying to write for comedy in that?
Yeah, I think it's for comedy and also just personal as well. I think it's just like there's so much stimulation, like constant stimulation everywhere you go. There's constant stimulation. I was reading this thing where they said like, I think it was in Brazil or somewhere in South America where there's so many like ads everywhere you go. There's like ads everywhere. It's just of people that don't really look like that, but it's like constant ad about how you should look and what you should be doing with your life and stuff like that. And they just wrote a law saying no ads in the city. No, you're not allowed any ads, billboards, anything.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they just said no. We're not having any. And like, I don't know what the actual stats were, but like people's like mental health and like the way people responded to it is like, instant change. Yeah. In people's like lives because they weren't constantly being fed that. Obviously, it's like TV does that, social media does that. It's like learning to just like shut off everything and let your mind think is like so important. Yeah. Because like when do you ever get that opportunity? Like, right. In an everyday life, like in a normal 24 hours, when do you ever get that? Yeah. It's like never. So like if you're driving, shut off everything. Shut off the music. Don't look at like Don't listen to anything. Just drive. Just just keep look at the road, look at what's happening, but just drive.
Yeah.
So
I think the last time I did that is like drive without any podcast or any music
Yeah.
was like when I had one of the worst bombs that I've ever had, and I
Wow.
just drove home in silence, and I didn't even realize and this was when I was still living like 2 hours away
Right.
in Morwell. I was like, I had just a fucking awful gig, and then I drove home like 2 hours home, and I didn't even realize that I had just been in my head the entire drive, and then I pulled into the driveway. I'm like, oh shit, I was thinking about that gig for 2 hours.
Wow.
But that was kind of healthy. Like
That's
I
good.
feel like you need to
Learn to
low
deal with
stimulus.
it. Don't block it out by listening to music or listening to someone else talk.
Yeah.
Like a podcast or something. Just like be in the moment, be present, let it go. Okay, that happened, and it's okay. Like it's gonna happen constantly.
Yeah.
You're in an industry where this is gonna happen so much. So why stress about this one thing?
Yeah. So in your cult, would you ban phones on weekends and stuff? Like, say, and you're at the meeting place?
Completely.
Yeah. Okay. So
Completely
no stimulus.
No stimulation from anything. So no phones, no TVs, no like magazines. You can have books, but no magazines.
All right.
Like gossip magazines and stuff like that. Like
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
Oh man, those magazines get me sometimes. I'm like, what?
Like a Woman's Day or
like those ones.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, what did
you read them?
I'm like, what did Prince Williams do? I need the.
I don't think I've even seen them in a store in like 10 years.
They still exist, but it's usually at like doctor's clinics or like some.
It's
always at those places where you have to wait, and you just like, I guess I'll read this. I'm not gonna look at my phone, but that's even worse. So both the things are bad. So none of that. It just needs to be like just wholesome, just like just everyone.
Yeah. So
and if you need a break, there'll be like break rooms where like if you
can look at your phone.
No, break rooms from people.
Okay, yeah.
So if you have like
low stim rooms,
if you have like anxiety or like if you have like any like social issues, social disorders of like, you just go into a room for an hour or two or whatever you want. Like just go and like block out everything.
So
Have
do
a nap,
you
whatever.
Do you have to attend? Like, if you're a cult member, are you expected to attend on both Saturday and Sunday?
It's highly expected.
Okay. Yeah. Are you taking attendance? So if somebody doesn't show up,
no.
Okay.
It's you'll come if you want. Like, it'll be so good that you don't want to miss it.
Right. Okay.
It'll be like those things where like I'll miss it one week and I'll be like, oh man, I felt horrible.
Yeah.
This whole week because I didn't attend.
Right.
I'm gonna go attend next week, and then you're like, yeah, I know. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the gym, you're like, oh, I feel so good. I should have done this whole week. Like, why did I miss it?
Yeah.
And then that's it's like you want to go back.
Yeah. Okay.
Go back.
And then so you only meet them on Saturdays and Sundays. How are you?
Only Saturday and Sunday, but like we'll have like a few people working the phones, like a call line, like what's it, hotline?
A hotline.
Yeah. So if you have
not like an app or anything.
No. If you have any issues.
Yeah.
Just
call.
Speak.
Yeah.
24/7.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the payroll so far, you've got an accountant.
Yeah.
A couple of part-time cooks.
Yeah.
And a hotline.
And a hotline. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the
only need 2 people hotline.
Okay, 2. So that's like, that's like however many that is. And then other council members at the front, are they paid, or are they just there because
they're retirees.
Right.
They're on the pension, so
they
can afford a coffee. I don't need to pay them. And they're happy to do it because they're like they want to pass on the wisdom.
Yeah, right. So is that a volunteer, or do you
It's a volunteer.
Right.
Voluntary role.
So how do you get asked to do it? Is like you just hit a certain age, or?
I think you hit it like it would be my choice.
Right. Okay. So you can
put your hand up for it.
Yeah.
But you'll be vetted.
Right.
Yeah.
And is there anything that like would stop you from allowing somebody to be like, if they have, say, a past criminal history, or
It depends on what that past criminal
okay,
history is specifically.
yeah,
But that wouldn't mean you weren't allowed to do it.
okay,
I think you have more experience. Like
Right.
if you've done that sort of stuff, but then have come to this sort of cult or joined this sort of thing, it means like you're wanting something better.
right,
So like, no, that doesn't.
yeah.
It would have to be pretty extreme for you to like a criminal record for us to be like, no, you know.
So if they were like a violent, if there was a risk of them reoffending in some way
Oh yeah, well, I think we'll also have a psychologist
on the payroll, yeah, that's good.
just to vet people's mental states.
Yeah,
Like having mental issues doesn't mean you won't join. It's more like the violence thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like also anything to do with sexual harassment.
Okay.
That's out.
yeah,
You're out.
right. Oh, okay, you're out.
No, you're vetted
Yeah,
by
you're not given power.
by a clinical psychologist to make sure that you're not gonna reoffend.
Yeah,
And if they deem there's any risk, then you're out.
okay,
But if they say okay, you can still be part of the cult, but you
Yeah.
can't be in a position of power.
right, right.
Which is giving advice or teaching kids and stuff like that.
Okay. So this sounds lovely. How do you?
I'm thinking that as well. I'm like, God, that's why I
just
drank.
start
I'm
this.
like, God damn, that was eloquent.
You're
I want to
starting
join
feel
this
it,
thing.
right?
Where is
yeah,
this
yeah, you're
place?
starting to feel it.
Yeah.
So recruitment. So how do you recruit new members? Because I like obviously what you're offering to your regular members. It sounds quite wholesome,
Yeah.
but you have to now go out and seek new members. So are you telling your members to go recruit more people, or do you put ads up online? Like how
I
do
think
you?
TikTok ads. I think that's the type of people we
I
want.
mean, that is how. Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
No, but I think it would be. It's like, hey, if you're on TikTok, you're a very highly stimulated person,
We'll have a social media manager as well.
right? Who's the
Okay.
only person allowed at the events with a phone
Yeah, pretty.
to record and like, because you got to
No.
do
It
reels
wouldn't
and
be
stuff.
recording the events. It'll be recording like infomercials or like little clips about like what we do,
Okay,
and, like what
yeah.
we provide, what our morals are, what our aims are. So that'll be one way of like getting people, just being like, this is what we do, this is who we are.
Yeah.
And if you ever want like to come and just even watch or see
Yeah.
for yourself, you're allowed to come.
So these are TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Oh, so
TikTok
and just for
Instagram.
general social media.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just pushing that way, and then upfront with everything, the 20% thing. Upfront with, I think we also have to be upfront about how much money we have. Like when we have those Saturday and Sunday meetings, we have like a meeting about how much money the cult has.
Right.
We'll
Okay.
we have a big like projector saying.
So
like,
someone does a deck or a
Yeah.
presentation.
yeah, presentation.
Yeah, with
like
some graphs.
a quarterly like presentation.
Yeah, earnings report. I
Earnings
love
report.
this. Yeah.
Just like everything is
Open.
open. Everyone knows everything.
Yeah.
And then we'll have like these food drives, or we'll have like these open days for people to just come and have food.
Yeah. So
Just
that'd be
like-
the Saturday or the Sunday?
It will probably one of those days would be
Yeah.
like dedicated to people, like our lunchtime. They
Okay.
just
So
come
like
around
once a month or whatever.
yeah,
open
like
it up,
people like we have like an open day for unis, like they
Yeah.
can come
yeah.
and just like hang out, have some food, and then get an idea of what everything's about. And
Yeah.
then if they want to have any questions, they can either write them down or come to me specifically, and we can sit down and discuss those.
Okay.
And then like open door policy, they can go and come back whenever they want.
Yeah.
And then when they finally say like, yes, I want to join, after however many times they've attended, then it's like, okay, if you're ready to join, sign this contract.
Okay, so there's a contract involved.
Yeah,
Right.
sign here, here, and here. And then a date.
So this is starting to sound like a gym. Like, is there a minimum?
Yeah,
thing?
no. There's no. So minimum is a year. So you
Okay.
sign up for a year,
Yeah. Because there's finances involved, you need to have something.
Yeah,
in
because
writing.
it's a financial year.
Yeah.
What?
We
run through a financial year,
It's just
man.
funny because we're recording this on like July 1st.
First, oh my god, I didn't
Which
even
is
realize
the
that.
brand, like, because after this, I'm going to a brunch, which is to celebrate the new financial year.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a yearly thing.
Yeah.
But you can get out whenever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a yearly contract, but you can go, I don't want to join this thing anymore.
Yeah.
Anytime.
You're just encouraging some sort of commitment.
Yeah,
to
it's just
the thing.
saying like, it's more for the paperwork.
Right.
It's more to be like, oh no, we took this money because they said we can.
Okay.
Not because
Yeah.
Like, there's
So
a
you're just
contract
covering
here.
yourself illegally.
We live in this bloody world where everything is paperwork, man. I have to. Like,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
every little thing is
I mean,
paperwork.
this is logistics. This is good
yeah,
stuff.
see, all our money is there. All the paperwork's done. All the
Yeah.
contracts are signed. Yeah, so that's how we would recruit people.
Beautiful. And so in terms of just entry and stuff, so is there anybody, like, what are some rules and laws that your cult members would have to abide by throughout their daily life? So if you're a member of Cult of Sam, like, are you allowed to talk about it? Do you outlaw anything? Or do you legalize stuff?
Yeah, that's a tough one. You're allowed to talk about it. You're allowed to do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're allowed to just...
Are you not allowed to know anything?
I think we'll have age restrictions on what you're allowed to do.
Right.
So I think when we'll educate the kids about the effects of drugs,
Mm-hmm.
but we wouldn't say don't do them. We'll just say if you want to do them, you can do them under the guise of your parents.
Yeah.
First of all, and it would have to be after a certain age.
Right.
Which would be around like 25 or something.
Okay. Yeah. So is that like all drugs, or is it like
Alcohol will be 18, like normal, but
Okay.
it's,
Yeah.
but
So they are still within society.
yeah.
So you're beholden to, like, Australian laws and stuff. But if they wanted to smoke weed,
25.
no one's gonna rat. Like,
No, you can do it if you want.
Yeah.
Outside of it, we don't really care. But
what
it's
about
more-
on the Saturdays and Sundays?
You can
on
do
the
it
meeting
whenever
days?
you want.
Yeah.
There's no problem. But I think the idea is to educate people about the side effects and about the issues with doing those sorts of things so young that they incorporate that into their life
Yeah.
and go, oh no, I don't want to do it until I'm this.
Okay.
And then I want to experiment with it.
Right.
And then it's like, because it's like the open door policy about everything, or the openness about everything is like, no, they're not saying I shouldn't do it. They're just saying it would be better if I did it
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah.
And so you can either listen to it or don't. But
Yeah.
most likely they would listen because of the fact that we're not the police. We're not trying to be like, don't do this, this is bad. We're not like just, like I think people do things in spite of like laws
Yeah.
or parents or
Yeah.
something like that. It's like, oh, you said I shouldn't do this, so I'm going to do it. It's
Well,
like a
that's-
rebellion
Yeah.
of sorts. We don't want anyone in rebellion. We're not. You do
Right.
what you want.
Well, that's like the autobahn, right? So they don't have speed limits or whatever.
Yeah.
And people will just naturally drive at the speed that they're comfortable at. Like,
Right.
So on, like, I'm a fast driver. Like, I like on the highway, I'll drive at like, if it's 110, I'll hit like 115. But then once you hit 120, I'm like, I don't want to be doing 120.
You realize yourself. It's
Yeah.
like I think that works a lot in all aspects of life. It's better for the person to realize themselves and make corrections rather than creating law, like specific laws to say you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's having any effect specifically.
Yeah.
Like, there's still people driving really fast and getting into crashes. But there's laws against that.
Yeah.
There's still people doing things or eating or doing drugs when they know, oh, this drug is going to really mess up your life.
Yeah.
They still do it.
Do you think, like, in general society, like, in terms of drugs, so, like, I think basically everything should be legal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the educational side of it is like, it took me experimenting with drugs to learn about them, whereas when you're growing up, it's just like, just don't do them and don't learn about them and stuff. Like, is that where that comes from for you?
Yeah, I think it's just realizing everything changes. Like there's new information about drugs that we never knew before.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to use it to treat a lot of like mental health issues. And so I get that there's uses, and there's sometimes people want to do things to kind of, it's just an experience. I see it as like a life experience that people want to be part of.
Yeah.
And like, you just want to do it in the safest manner you can.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do. Like, regardless of what you say, people are going to do it. So why not give them the proper place to do it in a safe environment where if anything does go wrong, there's people there that can, they can like help them if they need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So that's the build phase done. This has been a very wholesome, holistic community that you've built. And
I love
it's
it.
very, but now we need to test you as a leader.
Okay.
That's the thing. So,
if you haven't already.
This is where the deck
I
of
think we're
cards-
done here.
This is where the deck of cards come in. So I have shuffled them. You're free to shuffle them again. So pick a card and tell me what it is, and then it'll align with a certain scenario that I've got here to sort of test your leadership skills. So any card. So you pulled a Joker card.
Wow.
Okay, so
That's like masterful right there. What, there's only 2 or 4?
it's only 2 in there.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, but it is statistically harder to pull that card. But anyway, so your scenario is that this is the shared power card, right? So your best friend has joined your cult. They've been your best friend since childhood. Because of your previous relationship, they're asking for extra privileges and power within the cult. However, you know that they are oftentimes irresponsible and lazy and not trustworthy in a position of power. So what do you do? How do you handle this situation? In terms of your cult, I'm thinking they want to be on that council, like giving advice, right? Or they want to be an accountant or on the payroll of some sort.
It doesn't really matter because everything is like, we're all equal anyways.
Okay.
There's no such, like, to be an elder in the council, you have to be a certain age and have enough wisdom to be set up there.
Right.
So they can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you're my age. Even I'm not there because I'm not the age. Oh, you want to read the questions? Yeah, you can do that. I don't really care.
Okay.
Like, or you want to be accountant? Are you an accountant? Do you have the experience? Do you want to be a cook? Okay. Are you a cook? Do you have an experience? It's all based on, like, everyone's equal. It's only people that have experience with certain things that can be in those specific roles.
Right.
So, of course, what do you want to do?
So if they're qualified, they can do
of
it.
course. Why not?
Okay.
You can take my job if you want. You can be the person that asks.
Right. You would
reads
give up your... Oh, wait. Would you give up the role as the central leader?
Being the central leader doesn't really... I don't really have anything to give up.
Right.
Because it's all just... It's nothingness. It's like... I'm just the face.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a very good face. But, you know... It's hard to beat this face.
Yeah.
So if he's got a face better than this, of course. He's a face. No, it's like I'm not really doing any. I'm not getting anything. I have a full-time job as well. You need to realize that.
Right. So you're still.
Oh,
working
I have a
yourself
9 to
through
5.
this. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You're still physio and or whatever.
Yeah, I have a 9 to 5, man.
Yeah.
And that's another way I recruit.
Okay.
I'll fix your back. Let me fix your mind. Come to my. Usually I tell my clients I do physio. Now I'll be like, I'm a cult leader. They'll be like, we always knew, Sam. We always knew. So it's like, yeah, you can be whatever he wants to be. It doesn't. That's why this cult is so good. There's no like power dynamic. There's no hierarchy.
Okay.
So there's no like needingness to be like, oh, I want to be in that position.
Yeah.
Because it means nothing.
Right.
I mean, like, you get nothing special out of it.
But being in being on the council, that is kind of a hierarchical thing, but that you get there by being older.
Yeah.
So what about when so say you have your visitors on the Saturday lunch, and there's people that are curious about the cult or whatever, so they're coming to have the lunch. You'd need to show them. You'd need to give them like a what do you call it? Not a concierge, but like someone to show them around and introduce them to people and give them the whole spiel. Are you doing that, or is that something that maybe you could assign to this friend?
Everyone can do that.
Right.
We can assign a few people to do it specifically if there's need for it, but it's almost like, oh, welcome, this is what we do.
Yeah.
If you need anything, help me. Like call me.
Okay.
If you need anything, just shout out.
Yeah.
I'm not like,
So you just like so.
It's not like you go into like Foot Locker and they bother you for ages saying, "Are you sure you don't want these chucks?" I'm like, bro, I'm wearing chucks. Like, don't want those. It's like, are you sure you don't want this top? Are you okay? Do you need help? Like, no, we're just like, oh, come and enjoy. Like,
that's kind of intimidating sometimes, right? Like where you're just sort of left to your own devices.
Nah, but they'll be asked specifically. Hey, do you need
someone?
me to do you want me to guide you around? Are you okay?
Okay.
If you want, I can introduce you to a few people and
assign you a buddy.
Yeah, or ask. You can, or I'll stay around and you can just ask all the questions that you have.
Right.
Or I can leave you alone and you can go meet everyone.
Yeah.
Or do you want me specifically to introduce you? Ask them before you go away. If they say yes, it'll be nice if you can like show me around and what you guys do. Yeah, okay.
But so if they do request someone to show them around, like they get assigned a buddy, isn't that like a little position of power where it's like
what are you getting from it?
So the new recruit would experience the cult through the lens of that person.
I think initially, but the lens of that person is the lens of everyone, including me.
Right.
It's like when it seems good. It's like I don't know if you've ever been to a new school,
like moved schools.
And then
I haven't, but
it's like when I first went to a primary school and I was at the top, like. The teacher was like, "This is Sam. He's new to the school. Who wants to show him around?" And all the kids put their hands up,
right?
Because it was a position of power.
Yeah,
it was like, "Well, we get to I want to show this teacher how good of a person I am by putting my hands up and showing this kid around."
Right.
And then this kid was like, "Oh," and then all these kids were putting it, and the teacher was like, "Oh, Nick, you can show Sam around."
Yeah.
And then lunchtime came around and we go outside and Nick just runs off and I'm there left by myself. I'm like, bro, I thought you said you're gonna show me around. So it means nothing. It's just like a little glimpse of power, but it really means nothing.
Yeah. And so you'd want new recruits and stuff to sort of be left to their own devices at some point. And
I think
figure it out for themselves.
Whoever shows them around also we all have the same mindset.
Okay.
We all have the same goals.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say, Dan, show him around, and then Dan's gonna be like, "Oh, this place is horrible. Like we shouldn't come here. Like they don't do this." It's like at that point, most of the 100% of the people there have the same goal and the same drive and belief system that they're just gonna. So if my mate who wants the power wants that role, yeah, of course.
Okay. All right.
I don't care.
Next scenario card. We're gonna do 2 more.
All right. Scenario cards, come on, other joke.
Okay, so 7. Public relations.
Right.
So your cult is picking up media attention from the outside world, and they are interested in interviewing you. The outside narrative is painting you as an egomaniacal leader that's brainwashing their followers. So the media has seen your posts on social media, and they've sent a reporter out,
right.
And they want to interview you.
Am I in my commune or in the city?
This is on a Saturday, so I'm going to be the reporter,
right?
And you're just showing me around,
right?
Right. Do you allow? First of all, do you accept the interview? Like, would you want a reporter to come in with like a camera and stuff?
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
Any publicity is good publicity, baby.
All right, Sam, nice to meet you. So tell me what this cult is about. Do you mind me calling it a cult? Or would you prefer a different word?
I think the negative connotations associated with a cult is probably not good to call it a cult.
Right.
But I guess we're a group of people that get together and help each other out with life, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you can call us what you want. I think the main aim of the cult, if you want to call it that, is it's just brotherhood and community and love
Yeah.
and education and showing people that life, you can enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
You can live life and you can be accepted for who you are.
Yeah. But this is, I mean, this is how a lot of cults start, isn't it? Like you unify people with a common goal, but then eventually, you know, everybody drinks the Kool-Aid and it devolves into something like, what are you getting out of this specifically as their leader?
I'm getting nothing out of this. I'm getting nothing, but I'm getting everything, if that makes sense. I'm getting the knowledge. I'm getting the, like, I guess I'll be happy knowing that I made an impact on people's lives in a positive way, and the next generation can do that and pass it on to the generation after that as well. I'm making sure that I see a psychologist regularly to make sure that I don't turn out to be anyone that I get overwhelmed with the power and become controlling and authoritative.
But isn't it true that the psychologist that you see is on your payroll? So isn't that a conflict of interest?
No, I see two different psychologists.
Okay.
One independent psychologist,
Right.
and then one in my cult. So,
Okay.
they get, you know, I'm making sure that everything is the way it should be. So I'm not getting I'm not being told what I want to hear.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Is it also true that to become a member of this cult, you have to give 20% of your income?
That is correct.
Don't you think you're taking advantage of people by taking 20% of their income?
That's including 20% of my income, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So how am I taking advantage of people? I'm taking advantage of myself. That means.
But where does that money go, Sam?
That money goes into an account that's controlled by the whole cult. So every adult member above 18 has signed a contract with the bank. So they own all of that. Everyone owns everything.
Right.
So, and everyone doesn't have access, but everyone sees the amount of money that's in the account every week. And then every quarter, there's a budget breakdown of every single amount that's been spent and how it's been spent.
Okay. Everything seems vaguely above board.
Vaguely? What is this?
Well, I'm still.
Do you want to see the bank account right now? Do you want to see a PowerPoint of the last quarterly report about where the money went?
I would, but we only have, this is 6 o'clock news, so we only have a couple of minutes left. I'm going to give you 30 seconds of airtime to make your pitch to the rest of the nation. If you'd just like to look down the lens.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Gebreselassie. I'm I wouldn't like to call myself a leader, but I'm part of this beautiful community of people that I created where everyone is equal. So if you feel like you want to be a member of this community, if you're seeking anything from your life, if you need any help, you're free to come to any of our sessions on Saturday and Sunday. Free food is provided. And you can come and go as you like. Thank you.
Beautiful. And cut. All right. One last scenario, cut.
Oh, that was bad. I'm really getting into this way too much. I don't like this. I'm really becoming it.
You've already got that. Yeah. So you just pulled a 7, and there's only a certain amount. Okay.
Okay.
Queen. Last one. Okay. This is a very fitting end. So this will be the last one. So this is called Death of the King. You've just found out from the cult doctor. Oh, by the way, you have a doctor on your payroll now. Of course. That you have an aggressive form of cancer, and unfortunately, it's incurable. And roll the dice, and that'll be how many months you have left to live.
6.
Okay, so you've got 6 months left to live. So what are you going to do here? So
sounds like I already have it, to be honest, with all the coughing. Like, this is becoming really real. Did I say I've got a doctor's appointment after this? So you enjoy that brunch while I get a pap smear.
Okay. So you're going to die in 6 months. What do you do with the cult? So does it continue to exist without you? Do you start, grooming the next leader?
Grooming, I don't like that word. Part of a cult, this is not good. Oh yeah, we have our own dictionary and that word's not in it, by the way. So I think because I've built this community to be the way it is, with no hierarchy, maybe the friend that you said before, he can kind of be a leader, kind of just like navigate everything. But I think everyone's name is in the account. Everyone, like, no one can just steal the money.
Right.
If that makes sense. There's so much you have to go through before you can take any money out. Like you have to sign, not just you, but so many people have to sign. So I've created this thing that will continue forever, and it will just get bigger and bigger because it's so wholesome, and it's so like why wouldn't you want to be part of this?
Yeah.
And like everyone's on the same page constantly. Of course, there's human nature where people are gonna might like stray away, but even if they do, there's nothing they can't steal the money.
Right.
They can talk bad about the cult, but it's like everyone there knows none of that is going to be true anyways.
Yeah.
And then people can come in and freely, the media can come in freely and check everything out and make sure everything is good. So yeah, it'll just carry on. I'll just be like, cool, like I'm out. You guys continue this legacy.
But then how do you elect who? Someone needs to fill your seat though.
So my friend will.
Right.
My best friend or the person
So you choose the next leader.
Yeah, leader.
Right.
I choose a person that's going to be at the forefront.
And then
that give guidance.
They choose it. So would you set a term limit for leaders? Like, is your friend going to be the next leader until he dies?
No, 4 years, like the election here.
Legit?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 years.
4 years.
So if you started
the
tomorrow,
council elders will oversee that as well.
The process of the leadership transition.
They'll be like they'll be like the Supreme Court.
Right.
Like the 10.
Okay.
There'll be like 10 judges.
Yeah.
And then
for accountability.
Accountability, everything. Everything is double checked, signed off by 10 people.
Right.
Like everything is double, triple, quadruple checked every time, every single. And that new person who's the elder has to also see 2 psychologists.
Right.
Every single person that's
in-house and
out
external.
independent. Yeah, and that report, and that needs the report of the independent one has to go to the 10 elders every 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam,
so make sure he's good.
This is a great sounding cult. I'm going to give you my cult rating now. I'm giving you points for the wholesomeness of it.
Right.
I like the encouragement of brotherhood and good mental health. I like that you have a psychologist on the payroll. I think that's really good. I like the non-commitment of it's only on weekends, and then you don't have to come because you kind of want to do other things on weekends as well.
Yeah.
And then you live your life sort of on the weekdays.
But it's wholesome enough for you to go, actually, I only want to do that on the weekends.
Only want to do that, yeah.
But,
Okay.
there's no commitment.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of giving 20% of my income towards this cult, but I assume maybe I would once I'm embedded within it. And for that, all those things considered, and you as a leader who's not really a leader, you're sitting in the seat, and you're just fostering, the wholesomeness and the holistic care. I'm going to give you an 8 out of 10 cult points. I think it's very wholesome, and I think you'd make a fantastic leader.
Thank you. That's all I ever wanted to hear. What are you doing after this?
I've got a brunch, I told you. Where can the people find you?
Find me on Instagram, samgeb.comedy. Geb is spelled Geb. samgeb.comedy.
Right.
That's all.
Awesome. Sam, thank you for building a cult with me.
Thank you, bro. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Let's build a cult.